What is up, guys? Wraec here with a new video, and today I want to talk about a topic that's becoming more and more relevant with every single day that passes, and that is the end of the season. The end of the season is coming closer, and we are already in the last third of it. And while we don't have an exact date when the season will end yet, and it, in my opinion at least, felt a whole lot shorter than the last ones, we are already in the point where we have to think about what we still want to do, what we still have to achieve, what content is still coming, and that is something that we want to do in this video, cover a little bit, while we, by the way, watch how I glitched a little bit out of bounds. Accidentally, I swear. Accidentally. And yeah, it gives some funny pictures so we can run around at places that you usually don't see, which is quite cool. So we are currently in the update 1.23. The update introduced Wraec and in total 2 heroes, Wraec and Sonya. That much we know. We already saw the skill set of Sonya. It was leaked, and she seems like a really cool hero. Also in this season we are still expecting Bonnie and Huglin, was it called Huglin, the little dwarf. And those heroes are still going to come, are still going to be released. So there are still a few weeks left to come. But if we look in the season handbook, and there is the overview and the version guide, we can see that the next upcoming update, the 1.24, includes 2 more heroes, which are going to be normal heroes, the current 1.23, Wraec and Sonya. So 1.23 doesn't seem like an update that is made to be there for a long time. In general, our heroes are released at a rate of about 1 every 2 weeks. So granted that we are going to see a new hero probably after the end of the Hodgkin raid up on this server. This is only a matter of loading, apparently. This is only a matter of 6 more days until this raid up ends. On the main server it's of course a little bit longer, but still, if you consider that in 6 days probably there will be Sonya, and then 2 weeks more until the next release, which will then have to be on the 1.24 version. Yeah, it gives us like 6 more weeks until the heroes of this update are exhausted, and then maybe 2 more weeks until the next one. But yeah, it is now becoming more of a tight time window. And of course, this 1.24 guide also gives us a little bit of a view on what we are going to see in the upcoming version. Ravaged Realm is coming back, and we already talked about it a little bit. Let me remind you of what it was while we walk a little bit further. In the last season, we actually saw one boss, the Zed Sahara boss, and the Zed Sahara boss was a giant snake boss. I made guides about all of his fights. There were 4 different fights that we had to do, one for each faction. Basically, you had to fight the boss with the Lightbearer faction, with the Wilder, with the Mauler, and then with the Graveborn faction, of course, as well. And in with all those factions, you had to try to get an as high score as possible with the attacks that you had every single day. You had 10 attacks, took quite some while, but it was well worth it because it included a very cool skin set and I think 20 stellar crystals. So massive loot that we got there, and this game mode is going to return. And once again, we are going to see us in a fight probably for a ton of loot on the one hand and very nice cosmetics on the other. And personally, I don't want to lose that, so definitely my first tip for you guys, if you want to get that stuff going, be prepared, stay active till the end of the season, until we get Ravaged Realm, and then complete that, because if you don't stay active right now for the next coming month, and probably you might lose a little bit of loot there, and that would be very sad actually. Because we are going to see a ton there. By the way, interesting that we have coming whispers running around on this wall here. Well, you probably are never going to see them, but there are some houses. So it's pretty cool. You should stay active for that. You should get your stellar crystals, and it's not really a long time. So this is the first thing. Also, of course, what we saw and what we don't have any info yet on, there is a Winter Carnival event, and we saw the last one, the Halloween event. I expect them to do a very interesting event once again. If what is going to be is a question. The Halloween event sported a lot of cosmetics. We saw like the wings, we got the very nice Igor skin as well, and beyond that, well, a little bit of loot. It wasn't really too much. It wasn't an insane amount, but it was a very fun event. The dice event, the Monopoly event, I think, very fun. I liked it. Made a cool video about it with the infinite dice strategy. I hope they do something similar for the Winter Carnival. Maybe something else. I don't know. Would be cool. A fishing event is about to come, and then they say coming soon. what that is. Is it a 1.25 update? I hope not. I hope not. I actually hope that we don't see a 1.25 update. And I mean, it's a kind of a weird thing to say, because, well, who doesn't want another update? But I kind of want to see the next season, because this season felt pretty good, in my opinion, at least. I don't know how you guys see that. For me, it felt pretty good, because I felt like this season wasn't very long. And I think this is the best thing that can happen for a season. If it becomes stale, if it becomes boring, that is always kind of a sad thing, and kind of depreciates the whole idea and the whole opinion you had about this. We have invisible wall even outside on the waters. That is crazy. And so if this season was now a little bit shorter and we had the opportunity to basically say, okay, it never really got boring during the time, that I think would be perfect. That I think would really be perfect. So if they now manage to release another season, I think that would be very, very nice. And I sure hope they do. I sure hope they do. But if and when, that is another story. And I'm also kind of excited to see how Sonya is going to do, because Sonya seemed really cool. Not only within the story, but also as the hero from the skills that we saw. And maybe I can give you a little bit of an idea, because we're now already at 6:20 in this video. So I guess nobody's going to hear that from Lilith Games at least. And the skills she has, they are fairly interesting. I just give you a very broad idea of what she does. She has an ult, which deals quite a ton of hits, 8 piercing strikes, it says. And then she has this buff called Crimson Covenant. And the current description that we know is like, when a battle starts, Sonya forms Crimson Covenant with 2 allies placed to her left and right. So the positioning will be important once again. Prioritizing those in the front over those in the back. So if you like place them on the place her in the middle, and then like 2 next to her, then she will prioritize the ones in the front, and then she will increase their attack and fist and magic damage, magic defense by 10%, which is not a whole lot, but we have even more. And while Crimson Covenant is active, the 2 allies get an extra 5% attack and fist def every 5 seconds, stacking up to 6 times, meaning we already at 40. And that is without the buffs. That's just the base version. Initial bonus later on becomes upgraded to 15%, and the extra gain of attack and fist def to 6%. And if we then calculate the same thing again, that brings us to an attack buff of 51%. Absolutely massive attack buff. And that is why many people are very, very hopeful. And of course, we also have a further buff in their Mythic Plus for skills, and that is also going to be a thing. So the enhancement of her Crimson Covenant in her Mythic Plus will also be very interesting. Many people hope that we with her see a very interesting buff hero for the Lightbearer faction once again. So that will be another thing that plays a role here. And while we are at this position here, by the way, let's try to get into the areas you usually only can with the ship without a ship. And yeah, even if you're just running, those currents make you faster even when you are outside of a boat. When you are running on water. The struggles you face. It is fairly interesting. Can we confuse some people with it? Then also, by the way, Analytica made some predictions already for the releases of Bonnie, Hugin, I think he's pronounced, and the end of the season. What they said basically was, first of all, the patch 1.23 with Harak that they said was released on the 21st of November. That was true. It was, by the way, predicted by what? Then we have the Sonya banner on the 29th of November, which would be in 3 days. That is pretty close already. Then we would already have her released tomorrow on this server. It's crazy. Okay, maybe we'll see a video tomorrow. Patch 1.24 before on the release of Bonnie. So that would be then 2 weeks later. Bonnie banner on the 20th of December. And then the Hugin banner on the 3rd of January, and the end of the season and the start of season 3 I predict for the 16th of January. And I guess the release of the season, and that has a little bit of a room. I think we can pretty much predict the timeline of those hero releases. They're probably right on that. The end of the season and the start of the next one, well, it kind of depends on whether or not they are finished with it. If they don't finish the season in time, well, of course it will be delayed a little bit. And so that is something to keep in mind with that. But till then, I would just recommend you to stay a little bit active. Try to get your heroes to a good position. Maybe clear some more AFK stages so you get a little bit more of a collection there. And of course, watch my yesterday's Duros trial video so you get all of the Mythic Plus charms and everything ready for this last season boss, because we will get some very nice cosmetics there, I reckon. And last time it was very season centered. Maybe we can take a look at that for a second. Okay, there it is. Last season it was the bone set. This is the full bone set. The parts were actually divided on the rankings. So you had to get like into the top 20, I believe it was, to get the last piece, which was like the back piece, this horn here, and that was like the full armor that you could get for the end of the season. Plus, of course, the extra loot, the stellar crystals and everything. And this is, of course, heavily themed towards like the smaller tribe thing they did last season. This season, yeah, we are looking at Carmine Whispers. The question is what they are going to do with that. We had different clothing options already during this season. This was released during this season within like the pass, and then we saw different versions of like normal daily clothing, the butcher set that we got. And beyond that, also the, where is it? The Carmine Whisper set, Carmine Merchant, and I think they are going to go probably in the direction of something Carmine, maybe? I could see that. Maybe something cool around that, maybe something Captain-ish, like they did with the Velvet Store item they currently do. So something along the lines of that. Definitely, or probably a very cool set and something you don't want to miss. So, definitely something to keep in mind. If everything stays true, then we are going to see a Sonya preview on my channel tomorrow. Didn't expect to do that, but okay. Sonya preview, I guess. And Sonya is probably the last hero you definitely want to stay tuned on, because she could be very, very good. Until then, tell me your thoughts on this season down in the comments below, because I'm actually curious. I enjoyed it. Tell me what you thought about this season. And other than that, I wish you a great day. We'll see us in the next one.